It's a good news, bad news thing. The good news about social isolation is that you paid $250 less at the gas pump last month and $375 less going out to eat. The bad news is that your grocery bill is now $1,585 and your pay-per-view bill is over $200. Solution? Put down the ice cream and listen to classic episodes of Thrive Loud.
A third of the people love you, a third don't care about you, and a third hate you. So you concentrate on the third that love you and you go for it.
I think the greatest Achilles heel for leaders is they don't give themselves time to think.
So my journey is one of those, there are a lot of detours. There's a lot of going off on the side roads.
Thrive Out listeners, you're in for a treat. We're here with Jamal Mashburn, Jesse Itzler, the John Maxwell,
Jackie the Joke Man Martling, New York Rangers great Mike Richter,
Lisa Lampanelli,
Mary Carrillo.
Oh, how nice.
I'm actually going through the practice of being an entrepreneur.
Pick yourself up, brush yourself off, and thrive loud.
Get ready to thrive loud with Lou Diamond.
I love it.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Thrive Loud with Lou Diamond, connecting you to the most inspiring and amazing people that are thriving each and every day. I'm your host, Lou Diamond. Today on Thrive Loud, we have the founder and CEO of TetherView, which revolutionizes cloud computing used by offering simple, affordable, and secure solutions. As more companies move their workforce to remote locations, TetherView's frictionless cloud is designed to keep data secure and accessible while ensuring the highest levels of compliance, allowing IT teams to focus on innovation. He puts people's mind at ease by providing them ease and access and security that is vital to keep businesses safe and productive during this specific period of uncertainty. Thrive Loud listeners, Mike Abboud. Mike, how are you today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me, Lou.
So, Mike, we're in unprecedented charted waters here, right? We've got a world that is been thrown out of their offices. If you're in the New York, Washington, or California states, you literally have been made to work virtually. And this is growing just about everywhere else because of the spread of the coronavirus. Tell me how TetherView and your business is kind of well-positioned and also something that they should really be considering as a lot more people start moving remotely.
Yeah, so TetherView has been enabling work from home entities and groups since our inception. We started out by working with work from home call center operators. So pre-pandemic was a real challenging employment situation. And I guess that's a good thing going into a situation like this. And what we allowed people to do is connect to their workspace, their business corporate environment safely and securely from any computer, PC, MacBook, or even web browser. And the term we've used is the term digital bunker. So we've trademarked and we've coined this term digital bunker, trying to differentiate ourselves because what we are is really the anti-cloud. The concept of the cloud says you're going to bring all of the data to all of your users regardless of where they are, and that's really tough to do. It's tough to do, and it creates a mess when you have data everywhere. Our process here is we want to bring your users to the data and minimize the footprint of your corporate data.
Okay, so help me out here. So let's say right now, a lot of people obviously look, a lot of content is up on the cloud, whatever platform you might be using, just so people can tap into it. But what you are actually suggesting is this quote unquote frictionless cloud or the anti-cloud, in the sense that the data is only accessible where?
From the digital bunker. So what we do is we build, to use a buzzword, a private cloud for each company. And instead of saying, I give you you're a new employee for an organization, you get an email password and you get a password to a bunch of applications or web-based portals that you can access things from. As soon as you do that, you as an organization have no control. So I can access my email from every device, everywhere, any place. We want to control that. We want to set it so that you can only access corporate data, corporate applications, corporate information from known location, which is the digital bunker that we built for you.
Why is this so much more important, or why is this more secure than the way other clouds have set things up?
Sure. It's more secure because you have full control over everything. So instead of using your local home internet to go to Office 365, go to Salesforce, you're using the internet that TetherView is providing you. So we monitor that internet connectivity. We make sure the data doesn't leave the digital bunker that we build for you. And not only is it secure, but it's extremely redundant.
Let me rewind here, because I love trying to understand the problem that was there. Because I guess what I want to understand is, to somebody that would say, okay, hey, this is something I get and this is something that I need. What was the problem at hand that made you say, aha, I need to build things this way?
Yeah, the problem at hand was information's everywhere. And you hire an employee, and now, again, they can access this data literally from any web browser, and you have no control as to what they do with it. So they can download the data locally to the device that they're at. They can print it. They can save it. They can email it to their friends. Another problem that exists, and no one will admit to it, but let's assume that you're the CFO of a great company, okay, and you have an unbelievably great password for your email system, but you use that same password for Netflix. Now, if someone, and Netflix is a honeypot for hackers, and they're not designed to be ultra secure. They're designed to be ultra convenient and fast. So the hackers know, I'm going to chase your Netflix password because it's highly likely that you're going to use that same password for your corporate email and probably your corporate VPN. So what TetherView does is it eliminates the risk that a hacker has your password. Okay, and now when you come into this digital bunker, which is an app that you can access from any device, okay, none of the data resides locally. So we give you what's called a virtual desktop to work from, okay, and by doing that, we're building that digital bunker. So once you're inside, you can access your email, you can browse your corporate environment, and we're, based on your corporate directives, we're watching everything and control everything. So we can eliminate you from going to known bad sites. We can prevent you from doing silly things. And we can also put controls in place that prevent you from printing, saving to a USB key, copying and pasting, and doing all sorts of things that could hurt your organization.
You know, it's interesting because I'm looking at this from two sides, and allow me to play a little devil's advocate, Mike,
sure.
Because
please.
We're currently dealing with people who are physically in a bunker. They're working from home. They're virtually separated out, and they can't connect with their people.
Yep.
So obviously, if you were, let's just say now, an organization that wanted to make sure they can connect to their employees and there wouldn't be restrictions, are there things that I guess don't fly so fluidly with TetherView, certain apps or things that people now need to access because they are working out? I understand you're talking about the data itself for corporate pieces, but everything else from, just web access or Zoom conference calls or trying to proactively go after new clients in other areas, does this digital bunker become restrictive?
It actually makes it a lot easier, right? Because think about it. Now you've got an IT team that was probably stretched before going into this situation. And now instead of saying, hey, we've got to manage corporate devices and deliver my Zoom, my Office 365, my SAP environment, whatever your corporate stack is, now you've got to try to deliver it to 1,000 different endpoints. Let's assume you got 1,000 employees that are all using 1,000 different versions of different machines, right? So what we do is we provide a very, very consistent approach for both the IT team, the internal IT team, and the user. So now the user was working in their office, okay, and all of a sudden they're told they got to leave. Now they go home and everything's consistent, right? So regardless of the computer I pick up, regardless of the internet connection I use, I can get there. The other reason why we make it a little easier too is because you're not using a lot of internet locally, right? One of the challenges that's happening is the internet's starting to choke a little bit, right? I don't know if you've seen, but Microsoft announced that they're struggling with some bandwidth, right? Netflix, especially in the EU, said they're going to push down image quality, and that's just because the internet kind of disbursement changed over the past few days. It used to be in these metro areas. Now it's in more suburbia, and rural areas. So they're not used to consuming this much bandwidth. So with TetherView, when you actually open your email, you open that PDF file, that data never comes to you locally, and we consume less internet than if you were using those applications natively on your local device.
Very cool. How did this become your gig, Mike? What was, you started this company in 2014. Obviously, we get the value of what it's offering, more security, keeping things in that. I love the term digital bunker, good term. But what led you to this path beforehand? What was your where were you focused on before you started TetherView?
Yeah, before TetherView, I was in the healthcare space, specifically radiology, and I was planning an exit. You know, radiology was getting bad just with all healthcare changes. Reimbursements were not fun, and it just wasn't fun anymore. You know, with me, I like to make sure I'm having fun every day, and it's really important for me. So I recognized that, hey, I had a company that had a very, very, dispersed and fragmented IT environment. I had to speak to 3 different IT managers to get information. We were not as compliant or as secure as I wanted to, and back then security and compliance really wasn't a big deal, but I saw the trend coming, and I recognized that we needed a solution. So I built what was the framework for TetherView for myself first, and realized, hey, I'm onto something here, and that's how I started TetherView.
But was building this stuff, was that a computing background? That obviously you were in radiology, but the technology side of it, has that been something you've had for a long time?
I've always been a technologist, so I'm just naturally inclined to technology. I like to tinker with technology, and I've done a pretty deep dive. So going into this, we tested a lot of different components to make it what it is today. And the cool thing about TetherView is that all of the technology that powers us is being used by hundreds of millions of users worldwide. So we did not create, the magic, but we just put it together in a really unique way. We have the best team, and we've got a really, really cool concept about how we're bringing this to market.
From coming up with the idea 5, almost 6 years ago, what does TetherView look like today?
TetherView is, experiencing exponential growth going into the pandemic. And, unfortunately for most, it's also, I think, going to see hyper growth coming out of this. We're making sure that our existing clients are first and foremost our priority, but we also are doing things to help, the broader community, such as, enabling local municipalities who struggle with IT to make sure they can keep business going on as usual. So I think it's important that as we all kind of say, hey, this is the new normal, we don't know how long this is going to be, we recognize we need to keep social distancing, but I think it's important that we push hard to try to keep business moving as much as we can. And that's our goal over the next couple of weeks.
I was going to actually ask you the question from this point of view. Like, obviously, look, there's a lot of people now working virtually. They've moved back home. I'm trying to understand from your perspective, hey, look, a lot of people are just getting used to that environment. Give me the top 3 reasons that they need to be thinking about this, because some people they're just figuring out how to just log into their company, but somebody who has a company and now is dealing with their whole workforce removed, help highlight, again, summarize for everybody these key 3 things that they should be looking at.
I think it's productivity, first and foremost. If you have all of your people using lots of different devices, it's going to be really hard to manage that. The second piece that's important is control, but I think that encompasses, security and compliance in that. And what I mean by that is, if unfortunately you have to fire somebody and now all of your information and your corporate information is on a personal device, how do you even know the information's there? So we're going to provide you with an inordinate amount of control. And third is cost, right? I think going into this thing, people want to be able to predict what it costs to manage IT gracefully, and provide all these things. So if you look at us, we've put together over 50 solutions, and those are probably the 3 things that really differentiate us. It's kind of how comprehensive, our pricing structure, and how effective we are, at doing this.
You're running a company that's seen exponential growth over these last 5 years and are in a spot where everybody's just kind of shell shocked. And obviously, we all have up days and down days. On the days when you're not kicking on all cylinders, Mike, what practice do you personally seek or individual you seek out to get yourself back on the thriving track?
I like to step back a little bit, and a question was asked of me is, do I ever consider failure? And I think it's always important to kind of play that game. Just take a step back, look at what you're doing, and does it make sense? I don't really practice meditation that much. I'm starting to a little bit, but I think it's kind of what I like to do is just take a step back, do something that's physical. I'll tinker with something in my garage or here in our little skunk works here, and help me kind of get perspective on what's going on.
Do me a favor, if you could, Mike, share with the listeners all the places people can find you, learn about TetherView, websites, URLs, links, everything like that. We will put it all in the show notes. However, it always gets more engagement when they hear it from you.
Yeah, the easiest place to go is tetherview.com, TetherView.com. Check us out on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter. But the website is probably the easiest place to go and learn about us.
Let's go down Fun Street. You want to come down with me here, Mike, to have some fun with a little conversation, awesome. Get you going. All right. Do you have an all-time favorite movie?
All-time favorite movie. Probably every single Star Wars out there, but for fun, I'd say Spaceballs. Spaceballs is definitely my all-time favorite movie.
You just made me and my sisters quite happy. It was one of our classic episodes where we actually did the opening of Spaceballs to kick off the show, which was quite fun.
Yeah, it's cool because the kids are at an age now where I think I could subject them to it, and I think they would appreciate the humor.
We are looking at now, sir. What happened to then? We passed then. When? Just now. This is the newest thing in movie technology. Anyway, so let's go through this. Do you like music?
Love music.
Do you have a jam right now that's kind of like your song or thing that's getting you excited, or something that helps you get pumped up when you want to get pumped up?
I was listening. I was on a Van Halen kick this weekend, and it just got me in a good, happy place. So just listen to a ton of Van Halen. I think it'll get you there. It's appropriate for these times.
Any particular Van Halen tune you like in particular?
I think I'd say Jump. I've been playing that with my kids, so it's been fun to play that with them. My son plays the drums. I'm playing the keys, teaching my other son the keys. So nice. Jump is a cool song. I like it. Just kind of get people in a happy place.
Speaking about getting people in a happy place, we've been doing this on Thrive Loud because we get those that are thriving in their lives, their businesses, and their passions. And you guys are motivators because you've been creating new businesses, you're entrepreneurs, you have an upbeat way of looking at things. Give a message to the listeners in this time of uncertainty during this coronavirus pandemic of things that they could be thinking about to keep moving onward and upward.
I think we need to exercise common sense here and prepare for the worst. What I find is when I see folks that are panicking or kind of really stressed out, I think it helps to analyze, the issues and help them figure out how we're going to get past it, right? And plan for the worst. Plan for it getting worse so that you can manage those expectations and be prepared for that. And don't panic. That's critical. The other thing I think is critical is I think we need to encourage local government to keep moving forward. Right? Because I think it's really important if you know how to manage a GoToMeeting session, if you know how to manage a virtual meeting, reach out to your local municipality and say, hey, I can help you virtualize your meetings and allow the public to participate. Because I think if we do not keep business moving forward, at the end of this pandemic, it's not going to be easier. It's going to be worse.
And here we were trying to get people positive and moving forward, Mike. Come on.
Yeah, but I think it's an important message. I really do.
Understood. It is true. It's gaining perspective. And I'm also a big fan of if you keep it in the sense that you understand, prepare for the worst. It's never as good as it seems, and it's never as bad as it seems either. You can manage those expectations within that. So I do agree that being prepared for what can be bad will also help us make it not be as bad. So I'm with you on that. Mike Abboud, totally a pleasure to have you here on Thrive Loud. Thanks for sharing a little bit of wisdom. Thanks for helping people out in this time of need and providing a service that people need to be thinking about in this uncertain time.
Thanks for having me.
And to all our Thrive Loud listeners out there, thank you for joining us. And until next time, keep thriving onward and upward. And remember, be brief, be bright, be gone.
You've been listening to Thrive Loud with your host, Lou Diamond. Check us out on the web at thriveloud.com and follow us on Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook at Thrive Loud. And check us out on the Good Pods app at Thrive Loud, where you can follow, listen, and connect directly to Lou and all of the Thrive Loud episodes. Thanks for listening.